What thing?
Recorded.
Okay, but it's on there.
All right, we're good.
All right, so we kind of got a little rushing around here checking, so we're gonna get started with our meeting. This is another budget workshop, September 5th, 2024, 6:31. We're gonna get started. We'll start off with invocation and pledge allegiance.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the opportunity to meet here tonight to work on our city budget. We ask that you will guide us to make decisions that will benefit our city and our citizens. And we ask you to help, we ask for your help for our city to grow and for our economy to increase and to prosper, and lead us to serve wisely and with integrity. Father, we also ask for protection of our police, fire, and city crews, and for you to guide our city staff and support staff as they go about their daily tasks. May we feel your presence and watch over us as we all go about our daily lives, and we ask all of these things in your Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right,
And I brought my computer, so.
hopefully everybody's doing good tonight. I was a little rushed, I apologize. Any announcements? I think we covered quite a few in our last meeting. Those are all pretty much standard. I know we've got our now 11 events coming for the fire department and for the service club. It's going to be at the parks. Fire department's at 7 o'clock, service club is at 6 o'clock at the park, 6 p.m., 7 a.m. at the fire department. Anybody else got anything? Maybe we should mention our cleanup again. The cleanup is going to be the 14th.
14th, 8 to 12, unless they fill up.
So the cleanup's the 14th, so that will be next Saturday. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
I think Mike announced the gospel fest at the last meeting.
Yes.
It's been postponed until next year.
Well, what's that?
That's a little bit better.
Are we sure that's not the one that we had that came here?
No, that,
Okay.
I think that's in
Let's call it
October.
something else. Okay.
Yes,
That's
yes,
Baptist.
Good call.
Yes.
That's right. That's what you texted me about.
yes.
So that gospel fest
Oh,
is going
no,
to
the thing I texted you about was the Diane Slaughter
be,
Memorial.
that's postponed till next year, but the gospel fest
Is
is as well.
too, that is too.
Okay,
Both of
okay.
them
So
are.
2 of them. I guess that kind
Two
of,
events are, yeah, two events are now.
okay. So we will not have the gospel fest.
Not this
It's going to
year.
be next year.
Yes.
All right. Any other announcements? No? Chief? No? You sure? Okay. All right, well then we're gonna move on to citizens input for agenda-related items. You got shaking heads in the audience, so no, so I guess we can move past that because we've only got 2 citizens in the audience. So we're gonna move on to number 6. That's our budget workshop, and it's got all of our budgets listed. We're gonna be looking at general fund is what we're gonna be looking at.
Do you want to breeze through the water sewer updates from the trash and things of that nature that we had?
Did you get all that together? Yeah, we can. I mean,
That's on these sheets here.
Yes.
we've got them all listed, so yes, that's,
Should be page,
if you wanna go through that one first, and we can kind of sort of say that's great. If you'll bring it back to us, then we could vote on it.
yes. So page 13. It's the one that, puts, giving page numbers at the bottom. Goes to the top.
Page 13 is the back sheet.
Yes. Trying to say paper.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so I know the biggest, 2 things that we talked about was the SRA water for the income, or the expense, I'm sorry, and then garbage. Am I missing anything that we discussed
I
about?
think that was right.
Okay.
Where's your water, the SRA? Okay, that's the grant. It must be on the map.
Well, it's not income, it's expense.
is
So
expense?
it's on page 14, line 1261, 101.
Fifth one down.
Okay, that's the one you and I were talking about, okay.
Yes, so
today.
that one, did increase to 60,000. Because after putting some numbers together with actual numbers and
Right.
so
So
that,
if you'll see on that, if you look at our actuals, 2022, 2023, we missed it by almost 3,000. Right. We budgeted 50, we ended at 52,620. This year, Mary did some math and we're gonna do the same. We budgeted 53, so we were just off on our trend. So we budgeted 53, but she says we're gonna finish closer to around 56.
and then with the increase,
So we have a 5%, no, it wasn't. The 5 was trash.
that was trash,
don't
it's like
know.
10 cent.
Yeah, I don't remember what
1,000
their
gallons.
increase in, as far as a percentage was. Was it 8?
8% per 1,000
So
gallons.
with that increase versus us forecasting this off by 3,000, we're hoping we'll be right, hitting the nail on the head.
Anywhere between 59 and 60.
So we're gonna put that one at 60. Now we need to back up. We should have went to the trash first, I guess.
So we're gonna put that one at 60, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's already.
It's already
there. It's on the
That's
new
what she has it showing as.
Okay.
yes.
So hopefully, and there were some other changes that were the trash billing. I think everything else, we kind of got everything.
Everything else seemed to be.
The changes
lined
that
up.
we asked for are in here.
Correct.
So, what I think would be good is, on this section of it, if you guys would kind of go over it and study it after this meeting, and if you have questions, please give me or Mary a call. Because hopefully this section of the budget, along with the other stuff we go through, we can have this ironed out. But this one should be what we were discussing last meeting.
Yes.
Everything, all those changes were made
All
as
changes were
we asked. Now,
And that's garbage on the income and the
yeah,
expense
the garbage billing, that's got that 5%.
increase. Okay, so
Increase.
something to note, I know there was a big question on the poly carts last
Yes,
meeting.
that's good to know.
After, so the way it's structured is not the way it's being billed anymore to us. So looks like prior, after me and Tammy went through it, prior billing with Private Sanitation Solutions, since we switched contractors, they were not billing us per residence with multiple carts. They were saying 1,100 residents, 1,100 carts, billing it. Now that Gaston has taken over the billing, they're now asking for the residents that have 1 cart, 2 cart, 3 cart, 4. So they're getting more of an accurate number. That's why you're gonna see in the expense, it's gonna be much higher than the income because the way our billing out structure is different than the way we're being billed. So hopefully by next year, we'll find you, we can restructure it to where they match.
What are they billing us for the second cart?
Second cart was at 17.
2 carts is, we're making one.
No. What do they, apparently we weren't charging the same thing
We are charging correct.
Yeah, we're
as
charging.
they were. We weren't kind of coinciding is what I'm hearing you say.
Correct.
What
So
we're
what
saying
did
is
we-
that they were billing, we were only being billed for 1 cart per
Perhaps.
house.
Mhm.
Some of our houses have 2, 3, and 4 poly carts.
Mhm.
When the report was made for Enhance, that created the report, whoever had it done didn't tell them to break it down. Hey, I need to know the houses with 1 cart, 2 cart, 3 cart, 4 carts. I need to know that so that I can send an accurate count to the trash company.
So do we have that?
So we do now,
Yes.
did it.
We have it now, and we've had it for a good chunk of this year.
Yeah.
That's why you're starting to see the numbers increase on that side of it. The prices haven't changed too much since we switched from sanitation to gas, which is all still under Waste Connections, just under the same contract, and just switched user services.
But if I heard you correctly, we were still talking about, let's see, the income is.
So I have a question mark out here. It says we need a real number. Is this, are we staying with what we've got here?
And this shows the increase that with the 5% increase after I adjusted the math to what it really is. So when we bill out to customers, they pay, is it 14 and change
$14.98 is
is their base trash.
their fee. their
And
base
that's
fee.
gonna count for 1 cart. So when we,
That's the fee period,
right,
yes. Where they
so
have
then
one or
whenever we pay the bill, those fees are put into the polycart section. As opposed to when we bill it, it's put into the garbage billing section. So their line items are not identical to our line items. So that's where the difference looks like.
Okay, well, so the only thing I'm concerned with is our polycart income versus our polycart expense.
So the income on our end, we're only, is the $3, am I correct? Is that what
A
the,
polycart charge for one cart is $3.21.
so that's the only thing going in that line item. Everything else, that other $14 goes into the garbage billing, their base rates.
Did you look at these? Do they balance out when you combine it all?
Pretty close,
Okay,
pretty close.
Seemed like when I added them up, it was about a $9,000 difference. I left my stuff at the store, so.
That actual sure glares at you.
It was really hard. So it took us a while to sit here and digest it, see what's been going on, what was the pattern before, and how are we paying it now versus how are we billing it out? Because at first I was really concerned that we were not billing out, we were paying double than what we were billing out, we're not.
I mean, we know somebody in our neighborhood, a vacant house has got 3 of them, that they're just sitting there. I don't know if they're being billed for it or what.
address is?
Across the street.
well, and,
The one directly across from you, the one up by all the,
you know,
I'll get it.
It's been there, it's been vacant for
2 years.
I can't
More
take,
than
I can't
95.
take credit for it, but a conversation my wife and I were having after that last meeting, she was like, well, why don't y'all try to get some sort of a list together? All of our trash cans have serial numbers on them.
Yeah, they do.
So that's something that we're probably gonna need to look at in this next year. I think it would be a good exercise that we could probably not make money off of, but make the budget be
Clear.
more pinpointed.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure what's at each address and what, and, you know.
That would be super beneficial. I know you and I talked about
Right,
that
and
too.
And what trash can numbers are there,
Mhm.
because then,
Trash cans.
you know, and of course, this may not be the right place for this conversation, but I think it is, because we're talking about trash, but then we could say, maybe we have an ordinance in place, because if you have somebody that tears up their can 5 times a year, right? I mean, it's not cool. I mean, because we're not charging what those cans cost. That $3, that $3 can charge doesn't cover that can if somebody gets 5 cans a year. I don't even know, did we figure out what 1 can cost us?
We don't, I think that's built in within the contract. I have not found, I can dig a little further,
But
but we
that
will
may be
have to
something-
I
find
just
a
took the
cost.
800 and divided it into that, and there were like 100.
That 800 is not an accurate
not.
number anymore.
So this may be a
That's
good
probably correct,
exercise.
because mine is $79.
That's all we had though.
So this may be a good exercise throughout the year for us to try to focus on,
Yeah.
to make sure that we're cleaning that up. And, I mean, obviously, all year long at $3 a month, that's not even gonna pay for a can, right? So we may need to look at this, but there's some other conversations we can have later on about trash, because with the change in contractor, and there's some other things I know that's happening, you know, I mean, I'll just say it, we're not supposed to, it's all part of the contract that they wrote, and we all agreed to. We're not supposed to have double axle trucks going into neighborhoods, and they're in the neighborhoods all the time, and the reason why is because it tears up the roads more, right? And these double axle trucks are in the neighborhoods all the time, so there may be something we need to talk about, this trash thing that may come up in this next budget year that is a change, so. So let's just make,
Okay.
when you're going back through this, what we need to double, triple check is that everything does kind of balance, well, not kind of, but does
Does
balance out,
balance. Yep, absolutely.
before we bring it to council and get approved. And we all need to look at that too, because if we're dependent on one person to do it, that's wrong. We all need to look at it, and if one of us finds something that another overlooked, then we need to bring that up before that meeting, so we can have that corrected before that meeting, so we can get these things approved and move on. All right, so that's good. I'm glad you at least kind of drilled into that more and got us some
It was a project.
better information.
I don't know how well it's been digested before, but it was definitely a project.
Those
So
numbers,
on 1261149 chemicals, water, Are we sticking with the 90,000? That's what Mike upped it from 60 to 90. Are we staying with that? I had a question
I still
mark
have it
on
at
that.
60, so I mean, that may be a question for Mike, and he's sick today.
Okay, yeah, he wasn't good the other night.
Not-
If we could start, if we're gonna start this general fund, I'd like to make mention of, and it's because it's on here. Starting at the very top, our tax, the tax rate. The tax rate that this is all figured on.
We're in general fund now, I'm sorry.
Unless there was something else,
Nope.
it was just the trash, right? that
There
you
was
wanted
just trash and SRA is the only things I really focus on, everything else is the same.
to- Well, Did we
balance
touch
that a little
SRA? I don't wanna jump back from.
Yes, we did.
Okay,
That was the first time we talked.
all right, so starting at the top, general fund, all of this is factored off of the voter approved tax rate, okay? And the voter approved tax rate is 0.350632 per hundred. Do you have our old one? I had it in my head earlier. I had it wrote down too on my desk, but I
Seconds.
left in a friggin' hurry.
Oh, I did.
0.348.34888.
Is the old rate?
Last
No,
year's-
That's the NNR.
That's the
Last year's 0.38.
Yes,
Oh,
three, I knew it was 3.8 something, but
Yeah, it was
I
3.8.
wanted to be,
3.8.
can we figure out exactly what it is? 'Cause I would like to,
0.3806.
Yes, yes.
okay. So that is our tax rate that we were all taxed on this year, okay? So that tax rate is 0.380806. The tax rate that we were looking at, that we all looked at figuring, was the voter approved rate, which is 0.350632. Guys, I'm only bringing this up, everybody probably knows why, and if I get judged for it, that's fine too. I'm trying to make sure everybody understands. The tax rate is lower that we're talking about than what we were all paying taxes on last year. So if I need to repeat that, I will again. 0.380806 is our current tax rate that we all paid on this past year in 2024. Our new tax rate that we all discussed, and we said, yes, please figure these numbers on, is 0.350632, which is lower. I just want to make sure that that's out there, okay? And other than that, that's the tax rate that all these numbers are reflective of, okay? So let's just go down through these. I know
And I put a number in carryover that obviously can be changed. I was doing that for sake of attempting to balance. So that's not a name.
right. Well, and yes, that helps us on the bottom end.
Yes, I was trying
Right.
to pull some miracles.
Because I was looking at this one. I didn't print it. I was looking at it on my computer.
The one I just emailed you.
Bunch of notes, yeah.
He's got.
Um, okay, so you did it. You did actually with that. Carryover number, you made a balance. I didn't. All right. I mean, the park income, we went through all the park stuff last time. We were good with that, the park income. Do y'all wanna look at these as far as running down through each one of them? I'm okay with that. Does everybody know what the HOA donations are? The road donations?
Explain that again.
Okay, so the HOA road donations is, we've got two neighborhoods in our city that are non-voluntary, right? So their HOA is, they have to pay dues, it's part of it. So what they've done is, within their HOA dues, they've set aside enough money to be able to come to the city and say, hey, we've got this much money that we would like to buy materials for the roads. And so they give that money, and then we go buy the materials and we put it on their roads with the other materials that the city is
I
able
was gonna
to.
say, we kick in some too.
Yes. And it's been tough trying to share the load to all the neighborhoods because the dang materials went up so high. I mean, thankfully, our trucking hasn't changed in 3 years. The trucking cost we have not had not one increase on trucking for 3 years. And we were trying to get the county to help us with that, but it was getting to where it was almost impossible to get them lined up to carry us loads. So I'm going to try to bridge some of that gap again this year. We have a new commissioner coming in, and once I get to meet him and he's in office, I'm going to see if we can try to get that, at least that help, right? Because it does help. Every 3 loads that we would get hauled from the county, because they don't even charge us, thank goodness, when we got them to do it. They don't even charge us. So if we can get 3 loads, that's like a load of material. On today's price. Let's see what next, I don't know. I mean, they won't even give us a maybe this.
Is that part of the interlocal agreement that we entered into with this county? It is. Okay.
Well, the interlocal agreement we entered into, it allows them to haul for us, but that's more us being able to piggyback off their price.
Gotcha.
And I don't even want to see the price without that. I don't know what it would be. It would be too expensive.
Was there any other questions on income so far?
Um,
That I hope that I have an answer for. We did make a few changes in permits today.
so do we think our delinquent taxes are going to go down? I guess.
When I talked to county, they said stay about where you were
Okay.
because that's where you still have out and about.
Okay.
So it's still.
Alright.
Yeah, 'cause I asked that question. If what we still have outstanding,
And then, I mean, the tax roll, I mean, that right there is kind of that's kind of an answer to the tax
yes.
going down.
So what's
Right.
coming in?
So last year, 2024, we budgeted 410, it's actually came in at 457 as an actual, so we've got one more coming.
Yes.
So we'll have one more coming, so we've already went over what the tax rate that we're getting this year at the voter approved rate maths out to be. That math is lower than what we've already gotten to now. So that's something for us all to think about. We've got less money with the voter approved rate to be able to run the city on.
We talked about sales tax last time, didn't we?
Yes.
Didn't make any changes there. Shannon and I talked, we had a few more, we added a little bit in her permits to account for some of the,
And building permits.
yes,
And
building permits and students.
luckily she's got some knowledge of what's
That's what's
coming
coming.
Okay.
Shouldn't we have some income on those gaming machines?
That is all county now.
Yeah,
It's all county.
Chief, I guess it was right after you first came on, correct me, Chief, if I'm wrong. Chief checked into that because he was thinking the same thing, but then when he dug deeper into that gaming stuff,
Yeah,
you want to enlighten her on those?
yeah, the county's already inspecting and charging them,
Oh,
so we can't double charge
Gotcha.
for it.
Yeah, because they're charging the max amount allotted through the state.
Yeah.
So would it be safe to say to remove that line for next year?
I think so, because I think you dug into it and was like, well, wait a minute, why can't, it's in our city, and there was some kind of stuff you're like, yeah, we'll get caught up in a spider web if we try to get into that.
Right.
So it was
I didn't know that happened.
it was safer for us to stay away from that. So.
What about,
And what
park income?
line was that?
that was 152. And then park event income. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
Park event income.
So 55 was for the circus.
I mean, we did, I don't even, was that?
That was just the $55 or $52, whatever it was, that was the circus. That's what we made off of it.
That was all the circus tickets I bought.
That is what our percentage of it was.
Yes. And your pre-sale ones.
Hence if we do it again,
Oh,
we need to rent the park, not sell tickets,
well.
because
Well, we got lashings for that, so we won't be doing
that was horrible.
that. I mean, I don't know, guys, does anybody at the table here feel like that we're gonna have something? Jack tried to call me, but I think with us not having to have her here, she's driving, I'd rather not have her in that situation.
Yeah.
So, I don't know of anything. I know, Chief, you were talking about there was
I was trying to get the two circuses and the carnival.
which would be cool. And this was a different circus or different
Mhm.
carnival, whatever it was. This was different than the one that came last year. These are ones that are on circuits all around. I think they go to Rains and other places, correct? But we don't have any of that pinned down, so I guess if it's okay with y'all, do we want to kind of let that one ride this year?
Which one you talking about on?
That's gonna be 152, 155. No, 152, 155 on page 5.
Oh, okay, I see.
So I unfortunately, I think we need to leave that one just like you got it.
Okay.
At blank.
Yeah. If you never know, we might get something coming in here.
And we don't know, so I'd rather leave it blank, and if we
Get
end up
something
putting
great.
something in there, then we did better than we
Yep.
thought we were, right?
Right.
But we don't have anything in the know at the moment, so I'd rather us leave that one blank. Gaming machine permits,
We haven't had anything.
I would say yes, that one can be on the list to be nicked off.
We'll always bring it back as we need to. It doesn't really go away. It's
Yeah.
just kind of hidden from this budget.
Dang it, I wish I wrote my dang notes.
We'll leave pet registration at 300.
That's increased a little bit, right, since the,
Not that much. I mean, as I can get pictures of dogs and send them notices, when they get a notice and they have a time period, they don't come register them, I can send them a citation. I don't,
yeah, but it's increased a little bit, I guess, because of, All American Dogs, I couldn't think of the name of it. But, yeah, I mean, I'll
Do
be
they
honest with
notify
you.
y'all whenever they find a dog that's not registered or something in the city? They don't know.
So since speaking of that one, and I think Jack has been working on a handout.
Yes.
She's got,
Okay.
we need to make sure, maybe I'll try to make a note of to make sure that's on there somewhere, mentioned.
Yeah.
But we could also, this could be, random things like this, when they come up in conversation, these are the things that we need to make a note of, that we start throwing on our Facebook page and we start throwing on our website, just in the message
As a
center, right?
reminder. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, you don't want to leave it on there and let it become a moot point, right? So you don't just want to put it on there and just leave it. You'll put it on and bring it back a month or two later. Things like this, pool permits, right? I'll be honest with you. Before I got on council, I would have never thought about a pool permit. I would have never thought about, I didn't think about registering my dogs. Had no freaking clue.
Maybe we can work
Right.
together and kind of come.
But
up
when
with
I got
that.
on council is when I found out, I'm like, holy cow. So then I registered my dogs, right? Like, dang. So, I mean, those are things that we've got to try to maybe do better at getting it out to our citizens. I would say let's leave it there. Maybe we can do something like this, right? Educate our citizens a little bit more, and maybe they will start, because we all know, I can't remember what it is, 2010? I don't remember what it is here.
Pet registration.
$10
So
per
it's $10,
household,
right,
and you're
so it's-
allowed 4 dogs.
Yeah, so it's 10, yeah, and I remember I tried to pay you for each dog.
Yeah, it's $10
Paper for
for
you.
the
Well,
household.
no, I mean, I was going to, and she's like, what are you doing?
And
It's
if
too much
you're-
money. I'm like, it says.
65 and older,
Yes.
then there's no fee.
Yeah.
And if you're on social security disability and you can prove it, there is no fee.
Well, that's not very many dogs at 300.
It's not.
Most of them are running loose.
So, I mean, we all know we've got that many dogs in our city. Okay.
I have a question on 152.156, the tax recovery excise. There was nothing for last year and there's been nothing for this year. Is that something that we have to keep as a line item on here in case it happens?
There's no
I would
fee
say
for the
yes.
last
We
few
should.
years.
I would say yes. I want to be 100% on that, but I would be
Yeah.
safe
Okay.
in case something were to come in and we have that available to do that.
Demo lien, that's 152163, demo lien repayment.
That's if they have a lien on their property because something got demoed.
Okay.
Now, that's,
That's a hard one.
yeah, that's gonna be prior liens right now.
It is, but apparently something's happened last year
We
and
have a
this year.
couple people, they're purchasing properties and realizing the liens are on there, then they're calling us to pay them.
And we've still got quite a few properties out there that we have liens on. if I remember correctly.
But not all of them are demo liens, like some of them are gonna be mowing liens.
Well, and see, my concern with is, I don't know if that line item is correctly worded, because there's not another area.
So
If we were
maybe it
to
should
get
be
another
just
loan,
liens.
that's kind of where I was going with that is, maybe it just be lien
Just lien
repayment
repayment.
as opposed to demo.
So we don't even have, you're right, we don't even have one that's lien
Yeah.
repayment.
Because I've searched and searched whenever I try to deposit one.
And didn't we have, wasn't it just that one property?
So on our budget that we approve, that we bring back, those are the kinds of things that we would like to be more like right. We could just scratch that word,
Demo.
don't y'all think? To make that more feasible. And then, but it also makes you wonder, obviously, it's not demo liens, it could be mowing, it could be
Yeah.
anything. So we've got, I know for a fact that we've got quite a few liens out on properties throughout our city.
And as people purchase them, then they pay the liens off.
And with what's happening right now, I mean, there's two pieces of property in my neighborhood being surveyed today. So there's property being bought all the time.
Let me rephrase that. If they buy it with a title search, they'll have to pay the lien off.
Correct.
If they buy it on the tax roll, they do not unless they try to sell it.
Gotcha.
They're not required to because we are not contracted with county for that, but after doing some research, we also don't want to be.
I guess, in my opinion, of course, I would love for the council to please give theirs as well. In my opinion, I think we probably need to get more educated in that. So at least next year, we could look like we're a little bit more educated, right? Because right now, we budgeted 500 for 2023 and our actual was 7475.
And I believe this was,
Right.
this actual included 2 properties this
Right.
year.
And I get it, but somehow we've got to figure out a way to be a little closer to it on the mark, right? And I'm hoping for you, some of that training that you're gonna go to, there may be things like this that is brought up. And I know a lot of this is new for most everybody. And I don't know how we didn't catch it last year that we brought in that much and we only budgeted as little as we did. I mean, I was part of that, so I didn't catch it last year either. I was just seeing things from a different light, I guess. I think the grease traps, that's fine from what we talked about already. Chief, do we want to leave that police department donations at 800? We've only got 8202 as an actual. Do we know if somebody's gonna give the police department some money this next year?
Donations.
Wait a minute, that's saying 8202 came in?
Correct.
As an
And
actual,
I know there was $1,000 donation made.
really?
There came from,
Let's see.
Wait a
maybe
minute.
$1,000 donation.
Well, we need to find
That
that.
was in this budget, right?
I want to think it might have been, sure it wasn't last budget. I remember doing it.
If it was, it would have been late last budget. I thought it was this budget.
I can look really quick while y'all continue
Okay.
and I'll let y'all.
Because I thought it was around like February.
Well, even if it was last budget, it didn't show on here.
Y'all noticed that, the CSI inspections was raised quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I talked to one of our big developers right now, and he suggested going ahead and adding 5 additional builds, which means 5 additional COs, 5 additional CSIs. He did state that that was probably still very conservative, but let's not shoot ourselves in the foot again.
So you're good with what we got there on CSIs?
good.
For that $1,000 donation, it was last budget year, came in September.
And so it was late into budget.
Yeah, and we had the same thing that happened with some donations from the neighborhoods that all of us would have thought it was actually this budget year.
Yep.
Including myself. I thought it was this budget year.
Yeah, I thought it was a little later in the year.
I think one of them ended up being in September, one of them actually ended up being in July of last year.
Yes.
So I was like, oh crap, I thought they were this year too.
We're gonna keep that at 800. Can we raise it? Raise it to 1,000?
I don't know if we raised it to 1,000, because this year we've only gotten $82.
I know. Still not over. We gotta have an national night out. No, it's not till October.
Chief, you better go out and start shaking hands more.
Got a smile there.
I don't know, y'all, Chief, I'm gonna kind of lean on you on that. Do we need to leave that at 800, or do we need to bring that back to something that
Year before, the donating was 9,645.
Yeah.
And this year it was only 82.
I mean, I know at one point in this year, it was just you and one officer for a little while, isn't that right? So, I mean, presence is everything. If you have more presence and you're doing more dealings with citizens and or business owners, and you're present more, then that's probably gonna put you in their light more, right? So, I mean, I don't know. It's whatever you feel like the community is gonna do for the department. You know better than I do from that standpoint, or any of us do, honestly. It'd be what your feel is, what's going on with the relations with the police department and the community and all.
We have had some citizens ask about how they donate to it.
The cameras from the EDC?
That had to have been donation money.
That was that 9,
Yeah, that was,
That was all in last year too.
that was in the year
that was right at the end of the year.
2022, wasn't it?
Now, they didn't get put up.
Yeah.
Because Tex dot.
Yeah, it was in 22, 23
What is that
donation.
called? Flock?
Flock
Yeah,
safety.
like,
Tex dot and Flock, there was a bunch of wait time.
Oh, there was a lot of hurdles.
Well, one of the hurdles, we didn't even know we were supposed to be jumping until they're like, well, y'all gotta do this. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Did it, and I think it was like 2 days later, we got a camera.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Anything else on income?
I don't think so. I mean, everybody sees at the bottom the total income and all that, right? Balancing out there. Y'all good to move on to page 6?
Court.
Municipal court. Yes, our collection's done really good this year.
Good job, man.
And, you know, I think a lot of that's to do with
That's
that,
the collection.
That's MBA.
that service that we
Yeah,
all,
that's that collection
that we
company.
approved. Remember, we approved that company?
Yep.
That don't even charge us.
And you're gonna
Yep.
see the income on that one.
Yeah, they don't charge us, they get a percentage.
Yeah, they don't charge us unless they collect something. And
Right.
it's not, it wasn't that.
And they get a
Yeah,
percent of
go
what
ahead.
they
Looks like we brought in 2359 this budget year. What you're looking at is court is the expense. So
Oh, sorry. My
Yeah.
bad.
we brought in 2359. I think there might be a little more that's still sitting on my desk, but it would have been very recent.
I'm not used to your expense.
Try to make it easy with the page breaks. But where we see municipal court, that's gonna be all expense.
Is Hershey Barnett still our judge?
Yes, he is. I mean, the court's kind of straightforward there on the expense side. For me, I mean, you guys, y'all speak up, but for me, there's nothing that stands out. And keep in mind, you guys are here and this is an open budget workshop. If there's anything y'all want to jump in or you got, just feel free, just like we are, because this is a workshop. Everybody in this room can be involved legally, no problem.
152, 106 legal fees. Do
Legal
we
fees?
have that many?
We were just talking about that earlier. Okay.
Okay.
Pull that up to it. Legal fees. So again, the way QuickBooks was structuring this is, or the way it was being put in, is a lot of that is Lee's money. So why we brought it back down to 5,000 for our budget is because I'm going to move all of hers out of the admin. As
Oh,
opposed to
okay.
splitting it up where it's an easy
I got you.
one thing all out.
Okay.
And so we'll save that legal fees at 5,000 there in case we're gonna have court or trial or anything, we're gonna need other legal
I
fees.
got you.
Good deal.
So we were just taking it, essentially we were taking it out of the wrong line. It was hitting the wrong line all this time.
Wow. 164109, dues and subscriptions.
Fund view.
That's
Fund view.
That's
That's
court.
right.
That's court.
I'm writing that out to the side.
Yes.
Yeah, that's court's portion, so they took it
Gotcha.
and each, how many ever modules, they kind of split
Right.
that portion up.
Okay. I
Um,
won't ask that again.
The PD's
It's okay.
got it,
I've already got it in my brain at this point.
code has it, I think,
Figure it in the line.
because we're gonna use it.
Well, it wasn't a set in stone thing for code permits yet, so,
We're gonna use it across the city.
I mean, I'm good with it.
It's gonna be
Keep it.
a challenge, I mean, because we're humans and humans hate change, but I think
I think it'll handle fine.
I think it'll be great. If I could understand it, y'all are gonna be like rock stars in it. Y'all good with going to, page 7 on this one?
Oh, okay, it's part of it, so it's only part of admin. Admin could not fit on one page, you had to be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For this administration,
And like you'll see, the attorney fees, I put it all out of admin. Try to lessen some of the line items. I did, what we talked about.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
y'all feel like your office supplies is gonna decrease with the new system?
I'm hoping so.
Hopefully.
Hopefully less paper, of course.
Right.
And,
Well, and, you know, I think maybe we even with council, I mean, for the most part, we're not doing it at the moment, but I think in this scenario, we kind of gotta have this paper budget for us
yes. I
to
feel like,
scratch on with a pen, but I think we've done pretty good with some of our meetings that we were doing paperless.
it saves a minimum of like 60 pages, because I know the financials in its own.
Right.
And then we're not gonna have so much of a transfer of paperwork going from, example, this office to that office to that office, and
Well, and from
having 12 copies going all the way to different
And
directions, so,
from that office out to
Yes.
Public Works.
yes, yes.
20 receipts.
The contract labor for City Hall,
What's the number?
107.
166, 107.
Oh, sorry, okay, that's what I was on. So, a couple things on that one. I think we are going to drop having a cleaning service, because we do it anyway ourselves. We talked about that.
That was a discussion today. So they were gonna take that down and kind of just take that upon themselves and kind of save that.
Yes.
Good.
And then, as far as the actuals being where it was, we did have some AC repair work this year, and we have in our building maintenance, a little further down, I've built the actual repair for this AC in here into that. So we've got our 3 quotes, so I put about the average of what those 3 are in there. So if there's any other, there's still a little bit left in building maintenance, so any contractors, if we have to come in, will come out of building maintenance. It was kind of my logic.
Now, I think we talked about this in like first or whatever. 166, 120, travel and training. Now, we've already paid for
Mine will be paid out of this budget year.
out of this budget year, but now, because there's another module in that you've already, that when you, I guess a part 2, whatever, that I'm sure that the council will want you to go to that too. I know I do. I know I would ask the council to send you to that. Is that gonna cover that plus any other?
It'll cover that one.
Well,
I didn't put that one in there. I did have enough in there in case, for if there's an additional person going to court. So I know we had talked about Tammy possibly going to court training, but that probably come out of the court one. And the Kim's, so the 1800s for Kim to go to the part 1.
Okay.
That obviously, that can be changed.
Well,
Just didn't really
and
know.
the reason why I'm asking is because in the sense that somebody else in the admin side needs to go to some other training as well.
So do we want to increase that up a little bit to kind of cover both of those 2 big ones?
I don't know. I'm just trying to talk it out. And I mean, if there's training out there that would be useful, I feel like all of us are on
I'm
the
all
same
game
page
to
that
learn anything.
we would want to send people to do that. And it may not be send them because there's a ton of training that you can actually, you could do online, but it still costs. But it's, I mean, it still could be a couple $100, right? They still charge for those modules of training. But I want us to have the availability to be able to do it. Because if we don't put the money in there, then we're not going to look for it.
Right.
If we've actually got the money in the budget, and I'm not saying we have to spend it, but I would
It's
like,
available in
I
case
would
we
like
come
to have
across
the
something.
opportunity to make us at least look at it and try to find stuff to help you all have more tools or more knowledge to help you have a better result in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Well, make a point here too, because you're gonna have 2 new council members that might have some training that might benefit the rest of you that we don't know about, so keep that there.
I do, there is
Line
a,
item for that.
on
There is.
115, there's a $500
Yes,
There is.
yes, ma'am.
travel.
Well, if there's, I mean, if there's anything that comes up that I can go to as a mayor, I'll pay for that myself. No, the city's not gonna pay for that.
Look at 166, 114.
Yes.
The actual for 24.
So that's another one of those that was not being split correctly. And it was just kind of split however which way.
There was
So-
more than just admin going into that.
Yes, on one thing, it was split, only a smaller portion of court and everything else was going into that one. So I've got it split now to where that is just the one admin employee that's coming out of that one. Court has her own, PD has theirs, code has theirs, hers.
And then we probably.
And water sewer has it,
Water
right?
sewer has theirs.
We probably already talked about that.
I think we did,
We've touched on it.
because that was such a big, there was a big, oh, that's why.
Big increase in water
Because on
sewer.
water sewer, there was a huge increase, remember,
Yes.
Leon?
Yeah.
That's why it came up. We're like, whoa, what happened? Well, it was an increase, but
Reorganizing it,
Yeah,
yes,
it was
it's
an
just gonna
increase.
get restructured.
Yeah.
Trying to see if there's any, I didn't do a ton of changes in admin. Of course, the property insurance, general liability, those were increased. I did put in there the library appropriation, fire department appropriation, that was already in there last week. I decreased the chamber membership because it's only gonna be $100, and I just got the invoice for next year, so it's no longer $150. And we'll, and I wanna thank,
What about the advertising? Was that what you were?
Okay, I found out some information on 166-150, that senior resources.
yes,
Do you know what that is? I found
I
out
do
what it
not.
was. Okay, when we all first came on council, all of us that are sitting here now, Trina Coldiron from Script came, and she gave us a little talk. She did a presentation about this. That is for Meals on Wheels and for the connection. We were to donate to them, and I don't know why, it doesn't look like they ever received that, but that's what that was for.
is, do you know if it's still that same amount, $2,900?
So if you need her phone number, or if you need any information from her, I can give you that.
Yes.
But that's what that was. I knew what that was. I just
I'm
didn't-
guessing the 2,900 was just.
So the name of the service is out of Greenville. It's SCRPT, Script. It's Senior Citizens Resource something and Transportation. I don't know what the other one is, but it's, Huh?
Patient transportation, maybe?
he was,
That sound right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can't remember what the P stands for, but that's what that was. And a citizen reminded me of that, so.
I'm guessing the 2,900 was probably just a decision amount made.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's an actual amount or if it's just a donation
Yeah.
amount.
Just never
Right.
was paid out.
I mean,
Let's see if I can find back how far while y'all are continuing all
and I
this.
wonder if the way that has worked is almost just like, what was it? I think the scholarships or something. Don't we have to ask for those or something? There was something about, there was some weird
The
something.
scholarships always came from sanitation.
I know, but if I,
Those have to be requested.
yeah, is that what it was? Because
Okay.
I think one year we didn't get them. We're like, hey, what in the world? And they're like, well, you didn't ask for them.
Right.
You had to submit a request.
And that kind of makes sense, right? If you're gonna give somebody money, maybe,
It looks,
Maybe they never
As
came and
if-
asked or anything.
maybe it's okay to say, hey, if you ask for it, we'll give it to you, but I mean, we're just not gonna run out.
And maybe they never reached out to us and
So,
said, hey, you know,
yeah.
we need it.
we only sent them one check,
You did.
since 2018.
Good
Okay.
night.
So, okay, I take that back. There was 2018 was for 2871, and then 2020 was for 2900.
So that's where that came from.
Let me make sure I still have her phone number. I will
Was there
send
any
you her
after that?
number, so.
No, that's it. That's all we've had since then.
I mean, if there wasn't any after that, I'm wondering if they've gotten enough, and, you know, I know,
They
maybe,
just probably never asked for it.
yeah.
They may not have.
They changed, you know.
And if you don't know what that connection is, it's that van that you, and they've got several of them. And it's either a no cost or a low cost to seniors or anyone that wants to use it that does not have transportation. If you're a certain age, the price goes down or
I
what
think
have
you do the
you.
doctor's office.
But anyone under, I think anyone 18 years and up can utilize this service, so that's what it is.
Well, what do you guys wanna do with that as far as putting something in there?
leave it in there, take it out, what?
Already taken.
It's
Right
already
now,
out.
right now it's
Put
out.
it back.
So if we put it in there, we need to, we're gonna have to dig around. Figure out
Well,
what-
Let me give you her phone number and y'all, and if you want to talk to her and see what she says. Would that be,
But we're going to get these things nailed down pretty soon. We've gotta have this, we've gotta
she's there every day, she's the director.
we've gotta have our budget approved
As soon as
by,
possible. We have our public hearing on the 12th. We'd like to have it
Yeah.
adopted by the 12th,
Okay.
or that special session after the public
I
hearing.
will call her tomorrow,
um,
or I'll give you her phone number.
but I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at, in the meantime, if we feel like we think we might be
Make
putting
an
that back
adjustment.
in there, we as a group, as a council, we need to figure out that if we say it's gonna be 2,900, we need to see where we're gonna pull that from.
Right.
If we don't do it, then that's fine. We just leave stuff alone, but we need to have the possibility of. Does that make sense? So this is a donation to senior resources,
Yes.
right? And,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess, so we've got, right now we've got library, we've got senior resources, the chamber fee went down already.
And something, it looks like the past 2 years, the chamber fee, it's been taken out of dues and subscriptions, so I can leave it the same way and just take out the membership fee. I mean, it's $100, and it was already covered in our dues and subscriptions this year, but as you see, it's over. Because we've had more dues and subscriptions to cover.
So we have a contingency fund. Looks like we've pulled 137.90 out of that this year. Anybody got any suggestions? We could, I mean, if we could make that one like 500 and pull 2,000 out of that one, now we're 900 closer.
Yeah.
We're 900 away, I guess I should say. I said that backwards, but I mean, we could.
Or maybe when we talk to her, maybe she'd be willing to lower that from 2,900.
It's a donation, if it's, we can do 2,000.
Yeah, if we could do 2,000
Lower
to
that.
2,900, yeah, that would,
It's not in there at all now.
I know,
What you're saying is reduce that one,
yeah.
the contingency
Yeah, I
down to
mean,
like
that-
500,
Still
do
drops.
the
The number we
2,000
still
back
need
up
to-
there.
What's that?
So that's just gonna help reduce the number that we're still gonna have to come up with.
Well, I mean, I think what we're saying is we would just drop that one to 500 and say that, look, this donation, we're willing to do 2,000, which I mean,
Gotcha, yes,
I don't know.
makes sense.
I feel bad about that because if we've said in the past, we're gonna get 2,900 and we've just basically, I mean, it hasn't been approved on the budget, but it's showing on these lines. But we've just raised two other donations that we're giving to other
Right.
entities.
Organizations, yeah.
So I mean, it kind of makes it look a little,
And that, yeah. And
in
that's
some
one of the
eyes,
reasons- that's a
some may
need.
say unfair.
That's
right?
a need too, yes, a big need in our city.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I mean, our median age here is, you know, we've got a lot of upper age people. I think right now we're running at 50,
That's quite a bit.
58 or something, I think, last time I looked at it.
And they're definitely, they definitely come to our city
Well, and-
because.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is,
The police department.
look, well, that used to be old to me, but it's not old anymore. But, I mean, when you say median, there's not a lot to offset, right? I mean, not everybody gets to get around when they get, even at that age. I mean, unfortunately. All that are getting around and they're 50s, 60s, 70s, man, you should just wake up and go, I'm blessed. So, I mean, there are people, I see those vans running around West Tawakoni quite frequently.
So do we wanna put that back and put 2,000 in it and reduce the contingency?
I don't
That's
know.
already done.
I mean, that's fine, but I think we should spend a second on it to think about that. I mean, we've already, as a city, we've said we give 29, and if we're gonna deduct somebody else's donation, but raise others' donations,
2020 and
Make it
20.
I see what you're saying.
We just find it.
But
We don't want to decrease.
So we're going
We've already
to,
gave
are we
one.
still want to go ahead and drop?
Or they want to decrease.
no, that's what I was getting at. I mean, if we've already given that amount before, we don't, I mean, it would look bad.
We'll stay the same.
Just make it 3,000.
Well, I mean, we could make it 3,000, we just gotta figure out where we're gonna get that other 1,000 from.
Cut the seniors.
And we need to leave something in that contingency, because I think that's what we use, if
Yeah.
there's building repairs that we go over, I think that's where that's.
Mhm.
Because we were gonna use every bit of what was left in it, because we thought we were going to do this air conditioner, that was one of the first lines we looked at, and then we were looking at other lines to figure out where we could get the rest of the money for this air conditioner.
So what do we pay on dues and subscriptions? What is that for?
A lot of technology based, to be honest. Fund views is where that's going to, the majority that's coming from, and that's gonna reduce a lot of the other subscriptions. I'm trying to pull up the ones that we usually typically use. I know we've got Zoom, we've got,
So there's no money to be done there.
no, that's pretty well, the budget's
Okay.
where it's gonna be at. That's where it gets.
The other
kinda
two donations that were raised, can you not take a little from each one of those to make up for the others?
I was just looking at that, I mean, and if we're for all, trying to say it in a fair way. So we took where'd it go? We took the library from, on here, it's showing from 7,000 to 8,000, so that's $1,000 increase, right?
From last year, yes, last year to this year.
Right, so it's $1,000 increase. I mean, I guess we would need to talk about or give a justification of, we're gonna give $1,000 increase to the library, but a $4,000 increase to the fire department. Man,
Well, that's it too.
Oh,
when I was,
8 to 10 on the library.
oh.
8 to 12 on the fire
Yeah, 8 to 10, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it's 2 and 4.
Yes.
So I mean, I guess we need to have some sort of a conversation that kind of gives I don't know. If one kid gets 2 scoops, the other kid should get 2 scoops is what most kids are gonna think, right? If I'm breaking it down into like
Very simple terms.
simple terms, yeah. I mean, nobody's gonna want 4 chicken nuggets if the other one gets 10. So, I mean, in reality, if we haven't given these people their donation, right, wrong, or indifferent, however the reason, but now we have some better contact information, we can reach out to them, so we can try to give them a donation that this city has had in our budget to give them, which is rightfully theirs, because we said we were. I would think we could make theirs back up, but I mean, if we're asking for 2,000 for the library, do 2,000 for the fire department, do 2,000, do your 2,000 to the senior resources, and then bring the other 1,000 from that contingency fund and make theirs 3,000. I mean, to me, that kind of makes a well, it makes a fair playing field, makes a fair gesture, I guess. If that's my way of looking at these numbers, and these are all 3 in the same, or well, I guess all 4 in the same sort of quote unquote category. What do y'all think?
Say what you were saying again,
So
instead of,
my thoughts would be looking at these, because there's basically, looking at this, there's four entities that we donate to, right? One of which we didn't give our money that we were supposed to give over the past couple of years.
so what's the 4th one?
You got well, You got the library, you got the, I'm sorry, maybe there's three.
3.
4 is where I'm getting my money. Is where I'm getting the other makeup dollars.
Yeah.
So you've got the library, right, going from 8 to 10. You got the fire department going from 8 to 12. This one, we just all talked about just making it even 3,000, which I feel that's fair, especially since we haven't given it. But we could pull 1,000 out of that contingency fund. And then we could pull the 2,000 out of the fire department. And that would give a 2,000 increase for the library, a 2,000 increase for the fire department. And it would give them their 3,000. Now that would be y'all's decision if y'all wanted to lower theirs. I don't know.
I don't wanna lower that.
Well, I wouldn't either. I just don't feel like that's right if we're raising others, right? I think that would be.
So take your 2,000 out of your contingency and take 500 out of each one of the other ones and make that one 3,000. So from where you got it right now,
So can we have a conversation on how that becomes fair to the others?
I don't know that it's necessarily fair to anybody. I mean, when you talk about fire department, you're talking about first responding. Of course, it's gonna cost more there. So I don't know that it's a fairness in either way there.
And we didn't talk about this line a whole lot the last time. In that donations, was like the hospital district or anybody asked to raise their donation?
Yes, they're all asked. We asked them to up their contract every year to try to help cover the cost.
And I did the math on that. It's $16.16 a day per person. According to the census, we have a little over 2,000 people here.
Mhm.
That's a 16 cent a day increase per person to take care of our citizens.
It's not even an increase, that's just, if you move it to 12, it's 16 cents a day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So could I ask you where you get your water if the city wasn't here? Because the city's having to operate on less money.
That's true too.
Do we realize that?
We can suck it out of the lake.
You'd have to get with SRA to make sure they're okay with it, is what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just, and I
I
mean,
mean, I'm
just,
not trying to put you on the spot or anything. I just.
no, I'm not either.
I was
This is
just
the,
curious.
I'm wanting us to make sure we're having a really good conversation for our whole city.
Exactly.
So we were talking about air conditioners earlier. Does anybody know how old the air conditioners at this city hall are? There's 3 of them that feed the city hall.
No.
The newest one is from 1994. This one right here, I think he said was 89. Is that what he told us? And it's still running, but it's barely running. So, I mean, and I'm not trying to put everything in perspective, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying the fire department's not, we're not, and I'm not saying that senior resources is not.
Right.
The library, they're all important, right? But the city's gonna be important too. We need to make sure we're all making these decisions for all people, all places.
Just trying to make it fair across the board. I
Right.
get it.
But when I think about it, I can promise you the library's air conditioners are older than
Oh,
the
they
fire
are.
departments,
Yeah, they are.
right? The library's probably got air conditioners in the same shape the city does.
Right.
The fire department isn't, it's a 8-year-old building, 10-year-old at the most probably, something in there. And I mean, there's a lot of new stuff there, and I think y'all done a wonderful job, and I appreciate that. But I want us to make sure we're making a decision for the city and everybody else that's a fair decision. So you guys, put your comments in there, what y'all think. I gave my thoughts because I know that when something happens at the city hall and, what is in our maintenance? Can you look that one up, please? I'm trying to look at these, the maintenance for the building.
Building maintenance, I increased the budget to 12,000.
So 12,000, I think this was 8,500,
To replace the air conditioner.
which is
Replace.
in line with what we just donated
Right.
to, which is
Yeah.
what is in line with what we just donated
Exactly.
to the service center.
Yep.
So we've got, so I can promise you this won't make it there next summer. right? We got a Band-Aid and a patch on it right now, and I think I've worked on it 5 or 6 times, right? So, and I'm not an AC guy, but I can typically kick things and hit things and squeeze
Tap it
things
right
and
way
make them
sometimes
run
too.
for a little longer. But, you can only squeeze blood out of a turnip so long before it's dry.
We got leaks in the building, floods in the building, it's
There's,
a lot of. it's
I
fun-
mean, you got
fun breaks.
12,000 to fix this building for next year, right? That we know this building used to be a liquor store, it burnt down at one point. That's all that the city's got budgeted for this year.
Yeah, we got a back wall, it's about to fall
I'm guessing, like you said, I'm sure the library has some other, well, we know the library's gonna have money come from other places. The senior resources, apparently they do because they haven't
Ask
gotten
this
ours,
first.
Right.
but that don't make it right.
Right.
And the fire department's gonna have money come from other places, so that's where I was getting. I was trying to get us all to look at it as a picture, a full picture, not just being library, fire department, or senior club, or the senior resources.
What do you want to do what you did, I'm not gonna. So, I'll go with whatever y'all want to do, I'm not gonna really voice an opinion about it.
You know,
Will say that when I started it, the city's money was supposed to go towards our insurance to pay for our insurance. I did bring a copy of our insurance bill. The 12,000 doesn't even cover the insurance.
Oh, yeah, we can relate to that.
And that's what he's saying is the money's always gone to pay for insurance.
Yeah, well,
And our insurance has gone up and we wouldn't have asked for it if we didn't need it.
oh, we know it's going up, because the city's gotten all those going ups too.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got those going ups, right? And keep in mind, guys,
We're gonna put on the fire.
Already
we got a quote this year for 8,500. If we don't do this within the first part of the budget year, that air conditioner could be 12,000, right? I've got vendors that are already telling me that we're looking at increases, I'm like, you mean at the end of the year yet? Exactly. Why are you telling me this? Chris, you're probably seeing that in your business.
Oh, yeah.
So I understand the increases, but I know that we've all got to operate. The city's got to operate, fire department, the library, everybody. So, I don't know. If we cut that contingency fund out completely, then it's going to make it more dangerous for the
I
city.
wouldn't cut it out completely,
But if we knock it down to,
so don't be so broke with anything we get, we'll claim the rest of the problems.
I think I'm okay with spreading the wealth.
so just do so we're going to do 3,000 to the senior club or to the senior
I can't answer for
resources.
these other two, but I'm okay with that.
And then if we did the 1,500 in a contingency, then we need another $2,000, right? If we lowered contingency to 1,500,
Okay, take 1,000 out of it. Gotcha.
so that would make that one 1,500.
And then we're gonna do the 29 for senior resources and do it 3.
I would say do the 3,000.
3,000 even.
We're gonna leave the library where it is, right?
And then if you make, I mean, to me, it looks like it makes it a little bit more, even more scale fair across the board if you make both of them 10,000. That was what I said a while ago. But you guys do what y'all think, or weigh in on it, for sure.
And the balance is where we're at. That balance is the numbers we're at.
What?
Just that section.
Yeah,
10,
that-
10,
That, that,
10, 3, 10, and 1,500.
that balances it out.
Yes.
Balance is up.
You
Does not balance
taking
it.
from here and there
Balance.
to put there.
Because it doesn't change the bottom line.
No, ma'am.
The bottom line stays the same.
I
Well,
do not want to.
it does change the bottom line of the actual. It will.
Right.
Yeah.
Just not the total.
Okay.
Right.
All right, so those are happy so far. Is everybody, is that what we want to do?
I think so. I think that's.
I think we're almost done with page 5.
Well, I mean, look at TMRS, right,
That went up.
that went up.
And that there, so there's a big jump there, but that's covering TMRS for all admin employees, for all general fund employees.
So that took us to page 9. Got 15 minutes for these, Chris.
And then, did want to add the iris on admin, so it's 166,183. It's actually being taken out of water sewer. So
Is that zero that out?
I can zero that out. I just wanted to let you guys know. I wanted to leave it there, so it reminded me to let you guys know that. It's been taken out of water sewer for a while.
Well, if we can get through code and police department, public works is not here anyway, so it kind of makes no sense. I think we can probably do that, guys, if y'all, maybe. I think code, we pretty much hammered it out in that last meeting, didn't we?
We did.
We never did get to talk about police department a whole lot.
He's been waiting so patiently.
I know. You want us to do police department first?
If you want to.
Are we just gonna be good with
Do we
code?
like code? Is there any questions
Well,
on
no.
code?
I mean, I think we can run down through it real quick.
Just real quick, because we've already.
I mean, you can see there was a salary increase.
What?
It's not allowed.
Well, the only reason for the salary increase is she does a lot of the permits that have more than code.
Well, and while we're talking about it, since we're on code, we're probably gonna end up, code permits, et cetera, et cetera, et
Other
cetera, et
duties.
cetera, and everything below line 13. We're probably gonna end up having to move that because of that program that Lee has for the legal reasons and all that, because it's gotta go through secretary, or, well, I guess in this case, you. But we're probably gonna end up having to move her, put her under administration,
Oh, okay.
according to Lee. But she's still gotta bring that to us. She's still gotta bring this whole program that she's mentioned about this, what's it called?
Building Standards Commission.
Thank you.
That's
Building
not
Standards Commission.
So it'll take you out of PD and put you into
Yeah.
something to admin.
You won't have to deal with John no more.
Well, yeah, we're all gonna have to deal with John, he's our chief. My gosh.
Giggles
What
in
did,
there.
what did Annette name you? Not trouble.
Trouble
Attitude.
Attitude.
Attitude. Well, I'll do attitude. That's the name that Annette gave me. So,
And y'all did see there is a increase for the animal control.
yes, I mean, that's to be expected.
Trying to think if there was any other,
The only,
in
Yeah,
fact,
yeah.
it all comes out of one
well,
area
I mean,
now.
employee insurance, I mean, obviously, everybody's insurance in every facet has gone up.
You wanna roll into PD then? He's so excited.
That sounds evil. I think we should make him wait till the next meeting. All right,
Not only are
let's-
you gonna break him, you're gonna break Mary too.
all right, so let's jump
I've already
into,
almost cried twice today.
anybody wanna ask,
Change it that way.
anybody wanna ask the question on the first line? Or y'all want me to ask?
Man, come on.
Let's get in there.
Okay, so did we hire another officer?
Waiting for the, state to approve.
Okay,
And we,
then you can,
and this number is with that new officer and then a part-time officer.
good deal.
So if we want a part-time officer,
Strange paper.
The part, no, that's full-time.
That's
Full
it, yeah.
time.
I know you.
No, he's talking about the part-time.
Part-time.
So an
The
additional
full-time, that's
part-time.
happening.
Oh, yeah,
Full-time's
I'm so
happening.
glad to,
No, that's happening.
I'm very glad.
This,
I'm
this,
just wanting to see if y'all approve for a part-time too.
Okay.
If not,
Additional part-time.
it'll go down. The salaries will go down, cut out part.
What is the salary on the part-time?
It's 32 hours and it's, what was it, 20?
2307 an hour. It's like 38 and change. Oh,
38.
it is 38, 388.48. It would be the
38.
388.48.
So if y'all notice, there's nothing budgeted for overtime.
Yep.
All right, so Chief's gonna creatively figure out ways to mitigate the overtime side of things.
I'll be working a lot.
That's why y'all
He'll be here.
pay me.
Well, he's putting Paul on salary too, so
That's what I mean.
we might see a lot of Chief, a lot of Paul. That was one thing that was done. Obviously, the bonuses were raised respectively for the additional employees.
Yes.
We know we're getting.
Insurance was raised.
Yeah.
And FICA was raised.
Does all this balance out with everything else as far as what's coming in? You
As
got
far
that?
as like everything? Or
Yeah.
like-
I mean, it matches with our tax rate and all that stuff at the end of the day. Okay.
it's not balanced.
There's a question mark under cleaning.
That was,
The
we
same
kind of
thing.
covered that earlier, if we were gonna,
Same thing
Why
across
with the cleaning over there, it can take.
the board.
John's gonna help us out.
Become the cleaning.
I told him I'd donate a mop bucket.
I got
But as long as it's a good hot one.
It's one of them nice big yellow ones.
Oh,
I got one of the big yellow ones.
you gotta get a good dust or
They
two.
are expensive, but I bought one and it never got used at my house, so I might as well give it to somebody who might use it. Gosh, I hope my wife
Oh,
ain't
you better
watching.
be careful. You better be careful.
I'm dead.
You in trouble.
Can you come up once a week and demonstrate?
Yeah, I need you to show us how you do it.
You know how many people on Facebook have just clipped that and probably sent it to my
Yeah.
wife?
No, she's watching.
I love you, honey.
That's not now.
All right, so
It's gonna be cold out this weekend too, 50 degrees.
Is that Patty's house? That's Patty's house.
Doghouse.
I know, this was.
Who's on that patio?
That's gone, that's gone. Chief, where's the car stuff in here?
Where's car stuff? The new car stuff?
Well, your car wouldn't have a payment until next, the
Yeah, it wouldn't be
following
till the
budget.
20,
And that would
27.
not go into INS.
It wouldn't?
It would go into INS for the next year.
Next year? Okay, well then we can worry about that later.
Because the other
So
car
don't
will
be
be
throwing
paid
nothing else in
off
here.
this budget.
All right, that's another meeting.
Another week, another day.
Better wear your thick pants.
Oh, I have a question. 171125, vehicle inspections in January, isn't that gonna run out?
That's
Yeah.
it.
You don't
We
have to
still
have
gotta get them
inspections done
registered.
anymore,
So
huh?
that's gonna be
They
registration.
still have to register them.
I just put it under, I guess
Oh,
we
okay,
could
that's
change it
what
to
that is.
registration.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
change the line
Yeah,
name.
instead
Yeah,
of
you can make that
inspection.
one vehicle registration,
Yeah.
Yeah, we just put it all under one vehicle inspection and registration.
because their registration is like super cheap too.
Yeah.
It's just a few bucks.
It's just $7 a car.
Yeah,
$7 a car.
yeah, for the exempt.
Okay.
And
So
Chief
change
has
the
all
line.
his done at the same time.
We all go out at the same time.
I think that was a really good idea. Yeah, Chris like, take a note.
Yep.
Why didn't I think of that?
Like one
Just do
says,
it when they
my
come in.
registration's
No, I
out,
don't like doing that.
and I know everybody's is out.
I don't wanna do that at home. That's that
No.
pocket money I'm gonna do you now.
I think we talked about computers at some point with yours.
Okay, computers, no wait, I'm wrong. Computer software is FundView. Just wanted to put that in there. We played rock, paper, scissors on which one was gonna get FundView.
Repeater link for radios. I thought we were gonna be able to get rid of the repeater.
Well, after talking with another agencies and stuff, the commissioners have tabled the new radios. This is the second time.
There's no guarantee there, and even if it does, it's still not gonna be
Okay,
till way into next year.
Yeah, so
Hey.
we're gonna have to keep up with that.
Tango.
Until it, yeah, until it
Okay.
actually happens.
So is that subscription renewal, is that what, well, no, that's TLADS, right?
Yeah.
Hold on.
So do we have the other one for the radio stuff that you are using right now, is it in here?
The Tango,
Yeah,
Software? No, it's not software. Should be on software.
or is that why the repeater, I don't know, repeater? Maybe are you putting it under repeater links for radios maybe?
What, Tango?
Yeah,
Let's see.
because that is what the repeater link costs.
okay.
The service of it through Crossroads Communications. The Tango, we took out of the contingency fund.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully we can figure out the cars, and we don't have to spend so much money on them this year.
Yeah, that's why the vehicle maintenance and repairs out.
Explain the impound expense again.
The towing.
The towing,
To get the vehicles into the yard from the road or
We're
wherever.
gonna tow a whole bunch of them.
Sir?
Looks like we're gonna tow a whole bunch of them.
It's only been, how long have you had your impound yard open right now?
3 months.
3 months?
Wow.
The average total cost
Yeah.
is
$250 a car.
$250 a car just for tow, Leon.
And we still gotta get the building moved, that's $750 and a
Some
fence,
fencing, yeah.
a little bit of maintenance.
Any big questions on this one, or any questions, I guess I should say? You're good? Okay. I think we'll pause at that, because that's gonna take us into Public Works.
All right, does that call us, we're good for PD?
Yes.
All right, I like it. We're looking for a green line.
Do we have any citizens input for non-agenda related items? No? Okay, so I got a motion from Chris, I got a second to adjourn.
Leon Myers.
Robin Meyer.
Christian said.
All in favor, we're gonna adjourn, and it is 7:58.
Yeah, good. Just hit.
We gotta have a-
In-stream, Bill.